Let me do that. Okay, I'll share this again. Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Okay. So, hi everyone. Uh, First of all, a few words about myself. So, I'm a cloud enthusiast, and apart from that, I'm a consultant at Capgemini. I have also worked with TCS, with Digitate, and apart from that, I'm a Microsoft certified trainer. I have a license for 2021 and 2022, and I also uh, develop solutions on Azure, and I have also done a certification around that. So you can see a couple of certification that I have done in the field of fundamentals, AI, data learning, and apart from that, one from the architecture. Yeah, so let's quickly move to the agenda. Okay, so first of all, we'll see why uh, we want to switch to cloud computing, and because that is our primary concern that we should talk about to the business. If there are some clients, if there are some business who are developing the solution on premise, so how you can convince them to go to the cloud? So you should understand first of all what are clouds, what are the security challenges, and what you have to pitch in order to convince them to move their application to the cloud. So as you can see, the cloud computing, first of all, this was just limited to the computing solutions. So when we say computing, that means virtual machines, servers. Server can be Linux based or Windows based. So that was only oriented to those computing resources. But today we have seen a very drastic change, and the advancement of cloud has become a very very yeah, the advancement in the cloud has encouraged a lot of other services to move to the cloud. So can you imagine a small startup getting started and developing a solution around the artificial intelligence? That would not be possible at all uh, if they were not using cloud features, because uh, cloud has taken these phenomenal things like AI ops, um, let's say like image processing or computer visions to your doorsteps. So you just have to pull their features, and you have to implement in your application, and you can easily build a solution around those things. So there are like couple of fundamentals that cloud computing talks about. First of them is innovate faster. So with the innovate faster, I mean you can build your solution faster, you can test your application faster, you can deploy your applications faster. So a few years or a few decades back, let's say like, 5 year back, so we used to deploy our application. The release time was in a month. So in a month, your application would go to the release, or let's say bi-weekly. But today we have seen the release of your application uh, goes every hour. So that is the drastic change that we have seen in the industry in past 5 years. Uh, that is very much possible because of the capability that we have, that the capability that cloud brings to us. Okay, uh, Harshita is saying she cannot hear me out. Is it problem for everyone? Can anybody? Okay. I think Anuj can hear me. So Harshita, this is a like Zoom call. So basically, you will get a pop-up, and there you have to select like what audio you want to use. If you want to, dial a bridge call, or if you want to use the audio of your device. Okay, so let's move to the other factor that cloud computing talks about. That is economic. So, the money matters, the capture matters for every enterprise, and that is the main concern that cloud computing also, solves for most of the enterprises. So, if you have a vision, if you are in an enterprise, if you are developing a product that has a vision for a longer run, that means your product will go uh, with the exponential curve. That means you will you will whatever resource you have, they would not be enough. So that problem is solved by cloud computing. So today, let's say you have purchased 10 virtual machines in your on premise, and today those 10 virtual machines just have 60 GB of hard disk or 60 GB of RAM. So tomorrow when your product booms, tomorrow when the sales of your product goes up, so tomorrow you will need a more powerful system, more powerful computing resources. So whatever resources that you have, they will be trashed. But using cloud computing, you can use all those application. You can upscale your the resources that you have anytime. That is also called pay as you go pricing model. So basically in pay as you go, you only pay for the computing resources that you are using at current moment. So that also has other perspective. Let's say um, on weekly days, Monday to Friday, you have a less sales, and on Saturday and Sunday you have a high sales. That means on weekdays you don't need a computing resource that is very powerful, so you don't have to pay for those resources. In turn, you can pay for resources that you are using at the moment, and on Saturday Sunday you can scale up your resources. So we have the elasticity model placed in cloud computing, so that brings you pay as you go pricing model. You also have hybrid licensing model. So what hybrid licensing model says, let's say you have purchased a license for your enterprise. So that does not mean you have to purchase another license for if you want to move to Azure or any cloud computing services. You can use the same license, and the cost will be deducted from your license itself. Okay, that was the hybrid licensing model. Apart from that, lot of security as a services is given by these cloud computing services. You cannot imagine the level of security they provide to your application. If you have to build those security in your application, you have to create a whole new team for that, because they take care of your DDoS, uh, and they like they take care of your firewall interruption, from the traffic, from the incoming traffic to your application to application, traffic managers. They have everything placed there, and that takes care of all the security principles. Okay, so here are the bunch of services that you can think of in Azure. So there are a bunch of security and management services. There are a lot of computing services. There are platform services, which we also call as a PaaS. So they are platform as a services. So you don't have to you don't have to take care of any infrastructural things when you deal with the application platform. We have a lot of computing solutions, like we have container solutions, Kubernetes containers, virtual machine skill set that scales up or scale down on the basis of events that you configure. So there are a bunch of services that we'll be talking uh, in next session, not in this one. Yeah, so coming on the Azure part. So why we are, focusing more on Azure. So first of all, I have a lot of experience in Azure, and I feel like uh, if you are, starting with any cloud, computing career, so you should focus on either GCP or Azure, because AWS has already been developed so much that you would, find it very difficult to uh, get a little things done. So I believe for a beginner, for a person who is just starting with the cloud services, they should first of all, see with the like what the services are there in Azure and GCP, and slowly they can, pick up the terms and technologies that are there. So one thing that you will, find common in every services is durability, the security, scalability, their identity managed solution, and their accessibility. With the durability, I mean to say whatever resources that you will purchase, that you will use from the cloud services, they will be available. So they will provide you SLA of 99.9, so they are available most of the time. They are deployed in multi regions, so you don't have to think of like where is my data center, and what if my data center fails. So there are data multiple data centers, and your data will be replicated around those data centers. Security, uh, we spoke about a lot of network security. So, but there are also the data security part and the computing services and all, which have the security. With the data security, whatever data you have, that will be encrypted when they are at rest. So even if your data is in table, you don't have to worry. So they will be encrypted for a person who is uh, out of the scope of that database. Uh, the role-based access control also secures it very well, because this role-based access control will only be authenticated when you are a person in the comprar of that tenant. So that will be authenticated based on the Active Directory that you are using. The resources are very much scalable, so there is no limit of the scalability. So scalability would not be issue if you are developing any product that has uh, a bigger vision. Managed, as I already said, so there are different types of identities. So when you learn about what all IAM features that are provided by Azure, so the identity can be managed by Azure itself, or you can managed with the customer's keys itself. So when you say they will be managed with the customer keys, that means your customer keys will be used to manage any identity of the resource. That is a very good part from here. And as we know, like any resource that you purchase or use from these cloud provider, they are accessible from anywhere in the world. So yeah. Yeah, so let's move to the another segment. So that is what all Azure certification path are there. So basically, these paths get updated at a very interval of like 3 to 4 months, but there are not major changes. But you would see sometime like there are some changes happening. Here, when you see in the AI landscape, there is a second certificate, that is AI 100. but unfortunately that is updated in the current certificate path. So you would not find AI 100, and in turn you would find AI 104. So there are like a couple of minor changes keeps on happening in Microsoft. So for that, you just have to uh, go on this website that I'll post in the chat itself. So this website is official website, and this gives you all the information of the current update as well. But basically, if you see the certification path are very simple. So on the first column and second column, you have everything that is related to developer and administrator. So 900 is the optional, and that is also called the fundamental certification for any of the stream that you're in. If you want to become a data engineer, so you should follow the path of DP. If you want to become a AI engineer, so you should follow the path of AI. And this is the path of the developer where you can do 204 for developing solution for Microsoft Azure. And after that, you can also do AZ400. So that is related to the DevOps solutions, which talks about pipelines and release. And so this whole collection are basically most these are among the most done certificates. There was like uh, few lakhs or something that was done recently in last 6 or 7 months. So that is quite huge. Apart from that, there are other developer sections as well. Like if you are into Microsoft SharePoint, so you have something called MS. Okay, so we cannot find here, but if you'll go on this certification path, you will get more certification part as well. Okay, so let me give you a quick walkthrough on the Azure portal. Oops. Yeah, so I hope everyone can see my screen now.
Yes.
Okay, so this is the Azure portal. So you just have to go onto this website, that is portal.azure.com. This is the welcome screen, but if you want to go to this screen where you can see all these services, you can go to the all services screen. Here are the categories of the solution that Azure provides. So it has quite a few range of resources. Okay, so okay, so let me open one resource. So this is the virtual machine that I had created, and I'll show you what what out of the box features that you get on every resource that you create. So first of all, if you like whatever resource you create, you can go on to the resource and you can check. You will have this blades kind of thing. So you will surely get monitoring blade. You will surely get this automation blade, and operation sometime varies because operations is not something that is common with every resource. But you do get settings. In monitoring and automation basically you can write a automation on any type of events that has to be occurred or that can be occurred. So basically if you want to write some automation workbook on this resource, you can do that. And there are also some templates. Okay, so if you want to export this template, the like whatever settings you have done, whatever resource that you have created, if you want to export the ARM template, so for that you can export this template as well. We'll see what is ARM template in some another video, because this is quite a important and quite a huge topic. In monitoring, you can find a couple of plates here. So every resource has this plate, and it provides you a lot of lot of functionality. So you can see like how much computing this virtual machine is taking, what is the CPU matrices, what is the logs that are coming into this virtual machine. You can also write workbooks, and let's say if you have deployed any Java based application or Angular based application, so you would deploy your application. If you have deployed your application on any virtual machine, so you would surely need this monitoring blade, and that helps you to collect the logs, that helps you to collect the matrices and other telemetry data. Security, again, it can help you get a lot of security advices. So let me show you once. So currently there are 0 recommendation. Okay, so but if you have any recommendation for this virtual machine or some resources that you have created, that will be shown here. Also, if there are some critical security alerts, you would see them as well here. Okay, apart from that, let me show you a couple of services that every enterprise use. There are like bunch of computing resources. There are virtual machine, there are app services, there are availability sets. So the skill set and availability sets, they are both related to the virtual machine, and we can discuss later what is the difference between them. There are function app. So function app, basically that they are used when you deal with the event based mechanism. So if you have to write serverless computing, so that is where function app are used. We have Kubernetes, we have containers, so and so forth. Let's go to the storage part. In storage, we have a storage account that I used a lot with Azure Services. If you go to the storage account, and if you see what all there is in this storage account, you will see actually you have 4 things here. You have containers, you have a file share, you have queues, and you have tables. So containers are basically used to store your blob storage. File shares are basically used to save your file. Queues are basically your, if you want to save the data using the queue mechanism, where you can publish something and subscribe something, and the publisher can communicate with the subscriber. Also, there are like couple of like there are huge variety of databases that you can use. You have Azure Cosmos DB, SQL Server. You can create MySQL servers, or MariaDB for your NoSQL servers and stuff. Yeah, so I think that's it. I think we are going to discuss how we can, deploy our Java-based application in another session. So if you have any questions, you can put them into chat. I would be happy to answer them. If not, we can stop this sharing.